What's up, guys? Welcome to Kitchen Table Talk episode 8. I've decided to do these a little later so I could add more of the information from the day, but let me know what you think timing wise. But I figured I'd start with NBA today since there's a lot of moving parts getting ready for the free agent frenzy starting July 1st at 12:01 Eastern Time. So the probably biggest domino that has fallen today is the New York Knicks have cleared about $19 million in their cap, sending Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks, couple of key role players, to the Pistons, clearing about $19 million as they set their sights on Jalen Brunson, who has made a big-time leap into one of the most steady and versatile players with Dallas. They are prepared to offer him $110 million on a contract. I like Jalen Brunson. I really like him. I just don't know if he can be the guy, especially with New York and the pressures of that, and how New York has handled being an organization over the last decade or so. It's been very interesting, but I think Jalen Brunson is a nice starting piece, and clearing that much cap space tells you that that's where they are at least starting their free agency shopping for the New York Knicks. It should be interesting. Tayshaun Prince signed a 2-year, $16 million deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was a key D&3 guy in their playoff run this past season, and I think great value there. Has a lot to offer for really stout defense and can give you a 3 when you need it. So I like that, and he's comfortable there for them. So that's a great piece. John Wall is going to sign with the Los Angeles Clippers after exercising a buyout with the Houston Rockets. He's played 40 games over the last 3 years because of injuries and other things, and has made about $123 million, which is just insane. But given what the Los Angeles Clippers are hoping to get back with Kawhi Leonard recovering from ACL, Paul George with the elbow, they inked Ivica Zubac, their big man, to a 3-year, $33 million extension. And assuming John Wall can still play, and he's going to be a valuable piece, especially with that second unit for the Clippers. And you don't really have to do too much with Kawhi Leonard coming back and Paul George, assuming they're healthy. They are going to be one of the tough outs in the West. That's always been a tough conference, and I think it's just going to keep getting tougher and tougher. So that is big. Russell Westbrook exercised his $47.1 million option to remain with the Lakers. This coming after yesterday, Kyrie opting into his player option as well. I would definitely opt into it at 47.1. We'll see what the Los Angeles Lakers offseason is going to be, because any team that has LeBron on it and you miss the playoffs, that is inexcusable, and it should be interesting how they manage it, because they don't really have any young stars or anything to look at with the summer league or draft picks kind of coming up to kind of help them get young with veterans and the role players. They don't really have that, so it'll be interesting to see how they are able to manipulate the cap with a big chunk of it going to Russell Westbrook picking up his player options. So that'll be interesting. For the Charlotte Hornets, we introduced Steve Clifford today. We also exercised the player option of Jalen McDaniels, who Took some big time steps forward this year. Had some ankle issues, twisting his ankle, and that kind of made him kind of have to reset and restart. And he struggled, but he's a big time piece. And again, with the offseason not really, the offseason picture foggy for us, it's interesting to see what's going to happen there. Just housekeeping, we extended qualifying offers to both Cody Martin and Miles Bridges, and they are restricted free agents, so the Hornets have an opportunity to match whatever offer is extended to them. And the Utah Jazz have tabbed Will Hardy, a Boston Celtics assistant, to become their head coach. 5 years, new voice, young blood. I didn't know who Ime Udoka was before Brad Stevens hired him, so best of luck to Will Hardy, and I'm sure that's going to be a tough role to fill for the Boston Celtics. But they'll be very well versed in finding it, because they've always had great stabs over the years, even if they don't advance in the playoffs and stuff. They've always had great stabs for others to cherry pick from, so to speak. So congratulations to Will Hardy on the opportunity to coach the Utah Jazz. That is pretty much it for NBA for today. I will switch to Major League Baseball. Freddie Freeman leaves Atlanta. It was super, super emotional. Kind of, from my perspective, it kind of got old. I mean, I love Freddie, I always will, but I was good. I'm really happy he got his ring, happy for the memories, thank you for the championship and everything he did for the organization. But our first baseman is now Matt Olson, and I'm really, really happy about that, and I'm really, really happy to have Alex Anthopoulos on our side to be able to navigate those difficult situations, and he did that. And Freddie Freeman today has fired his agents at Excel. Obviously, he was not pleased with how the negotiations played out. Neither was I in terms of how it played out, negotiating-wise, but how it played out baseball-wise. I'm super ecstatic, super happy. Matt Olson hit 2 homers tonight and seems to be just the weight of the world off his shoulders after the emotion of having to deal with Freddie on the other side for the first time in Atlanta. All of that stuff. It seems like everybody can get back to baseball. So I'm really, really excited about that part. And the Dodgers have struggled the last couple of days in Colorado. Chad Kuhl shut the Dodgers out for the first time since 2016 at Coors Field. Really, really good stuff. He's been an underrated signing for Colorado, 5-5, and to shut out the Dodgers at Coors Field, that's doing something and doing something right. And today they beat the Dodgers well, I believe 7-4, and Clayton Kershaw. So the Dodgers are kind of in a little bit of a rough stretch, and that doesn't make me sad. There was a ton of suspensions from the Angels and Mariners brawl, but probably the biggest blow for the Angels, Archie Bradley fractured his elbow trying to jump over the dugout railing and will be out at least 4 weeks. So that's a big blow, and that's part of the reason why you never should get into a brawl, even though the events warranted it for sure. But it's just a more difficult season, getting even more difficult for the Angels and Mariners respectively. In that case, the Braves are dealing with some extra injuries. Kenley Jansen on the IL with the irregular heartbeat. He's been dealing with this since 2018. Brian Snitker said he doesn't expect it to be longer than the 15 days, but very scary and needs to be taken care of, obviously. AJ Minter slotted into the closer role tonight against Philly, slammed the door, and Brian Snitker said they'll play matchup for the time being, and it's a good thing that our bullpen is deep, because it's been tested over the last couple of months without Tyler Matzek and now Kenley Jansen. But we're 1 for 1 in covering KJ right now, so that is good. So that's pretty much it for baseball. There wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot for baseball. And the one thing I have for football, Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin inked a 3-year, $71 million extension. And he's a great player. I just never can kind of comprehend the big-time mega wide receiver contracts for anybody, because he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving years. He's definitely their number one, and it's well-deserved. But the numbers and the cap hits and things of that nature, the stuff that's happened with like A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, even if you sign these long contracts as wide receivers, it seems like you get out the door eventually. But I think this is a great cornerstone for the Washington Commanders as they try to find some stability at the quarterback position. It's very important to have a number one wide receiver, and Terry McLaurin, the third-round pick, has definitely become that, and well-deserved. The maturation of these wide receiver contracts is always interesting to me, but very, very much needed there. Other NFL news really quickly. Deshaun Watson's hearing is going to go into late Wednesday. We may see a resolution, we may not. It's a long disciplinary hearing. And again, Baker Mayfield seems to be done with the Browns, but I don't know that the Browns can do anything until they know the resolution of the Deshaun Watson issue. So we will see there. And Serena Williams unfortunately lost her match to Tang. I believe that's her name. I don't want to mess it up, but it was a long 10-point tiebreaker in the third set. Big time. It was nice to see Serena back on the court, but her losing the first time's got to sting a little bit. But it's good to see her doing what she loves and back at it. Unfortunately, losing in the first round is gonna always leave a bad taste in the mouth. But one of the greatest in the sport, being back there, just feels good as a general sports fan. But that's all I have for today. Like, subscribe. Let me know if you like the timing earlier in the day, later in the day. It would help me out a lot. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Peace out, guys.